A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to sharing traditions together around the table. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy every moment. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.
Ask me, ask Eliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything.
Okay, so I have decided to hire a nutritionist. Just because we're going to have the baby, and of course I know what's healthy. I know how much sugars and stuff, but I don't know. I figure, why not get back in fighting shape as quickly as possible?
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, I just need you to write down what you eat for 3 days. I was like, okay, no problem. But it reads like a hamster went ballistic. Can I just read you what now, to be fair, and I feel like everyone makes this excuse, so I'm like, okay, this is obviously why people hire nutritionists. Because everyone's like, well, we had an office party. Well, it was this. It's like, well, life is filled with it was. So I'm just going to read you what I ate on Sunday. Ready?
Okay.
2 bites of a mochi guava donut. I didn't like it. A bacon, egg, and cheese and avocado on white bread, which was not my choice. I didn't know it was coming on white bread. 1 matcha latte, 1 Christmas icing cookie, half a veggie sandwich, a cup of white bean chicken soup, artichoke dip with pita, side salad with cranberry and cheese, some fruit, 2 Christmas cookies, Sour Patch watermelons.
You're a grazer, though.
I'm a big grazer.
You eat 50 little different bits of things instead of 1 full meal.
I just think it's cute that it's and a few Christmas cookies, but only 1 had icing. That's not true.
Wait, what did the others? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wrote 1 Christmas icing cookie, and then I was like, I'm probably done for the day. And then I came back later and I had 2 more.
And you just wrote cookie like you could lie to yourself.
Yeah. And then it devolves on Monday. It's coffee, cereal, bowl of pasta. Also, Noah's doing a cooking thing. So I don't normally eat a bowl of pasta in the middle of the day. And then it's Asian pear, pomegranate juice, 3 celery stalks, 4 blueberries. And then I just was I got to brush my teeth and stop. This is disgusting. Oh, I had a quesadilla. I got to write that down.
Today?
I had a quesadilla last night, and it stayed with me. And it was very hard. You should not eat past 8 o'clock if you're in your 3rd trimester. It will sit in your throat.
Is it worse or not as bad as that time you ate that pancake?
Oh, that was so bad. Just to wake up with pancake in your throat. Just to wake up what?
That's so sad. Well, do you know if she's going to tell you can't graze? Do you think it's bad for you to eat a bunch of little things, or is it better for you than eating 3 big meals?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of dreading doing this because I'm what's she going to really tell me that I don't know? I know blueberries have a low glycemic index, and I know everything's killing you. So what are we doing here? Did I make a mistake? We'll see.
I don't know how you just ate 4 blueberries.
You know what? Because I picked up a handful, which was 4, and I ate them, and they were mealy. And I was I can't continue down this path.
A blueberry really is only good 1 out of 5 times, but when it is, it's great.
It's shishito pepper. And I'll tell you what, I love a bloob. I put them in my cereal. But if they're mealy, you can't do mealy fruit. I also eat a lot of Asian pears. And you know what's weird about an Asian pear? Secret Asian pear is that they get sour toward the middle. It's very weird.
Well, that's what you share with Tianfu. I feel like you're always eating one with her.
Mm-hmm. She's a licker. Anyways, I'm hiring that nutritionist. Don't ask me about it. Don't ask for recommendations. I'm just trying to be a person who has the baby and then gives myself a fighting shot. I'd also like to look a little bit better than I did before the baby. So I'm also going to do a trainer because if we're filming stuff this year, I want to be ready. Like me and every other black football coach ever said, stay ready and got to get ready.
Is the trainer coming to your house?
When they do, yeah. Yeah, that to me works. You can work out in your driveway. You don't need to like go to a gym. That's a deal breaker. Like, oh, can you drive to Culver City and like work out at my gym? I'm like, why? Am I going to squat differently in a different zoned area? No. You got to do it here next to the dog. Anyway, nutrition, here I come.
All right. New Year's resolution.
No, I don't believe in those. This is starting pre-New Year. We're getting this going. Oh, I guess it will be after. No, those are bullshit. Everybody knows that. If I followed up with you now and I said, what was your New Year's resolution 12 months ago? You'd be like, oh, I was supposed to read more. Nah, shit. I forgot. Nobody does that. It's just we like to think we're gonna. There's no reason to wait for the new year other than you have to give birth.
I mean, yeah, that's your new year is bringing in with a baby.
I'm just saying, people are like, in the new year, I'm going to lose 500 pounds. It's like, start now. Why not start now? I don't believe in resolutions and I don't believe in guilt.
Okay, great.
Whatever. All right, let's start. People have got questions. They got question presents that need opening this holiday season.
Oh.
Question presents.
Hi, Eliza. Love you and the podcast. Wanted to write in because I am going through a rough breakup and would love to get your advice. I just graduated from college this past May and started a full-time job. My ex-boyfriend, then boyfriend of 3.5 years, had an extra semester, so he is still in college. Earlier this fall, he broke up with me despite our relationship being mostly very good. Sounds like rose-colored glasses, I know, but it wasn't. We had gone through a spat of fights with roommate issues, some resentment, and other issues. We tried to make it work after the breakup by going to couples therapy, but my ex was struggling with mental health, so he was unable to keep trying to make things work. I still really love him and would like to make things work. When he ended things, we agreed to touch base to see where we both were at in life, as he was getting ready for the transition from college to work, and life is very uncertain for him. How should I reach out when the time comes? Also, I realize it sounds like, oh, just not meant to be, blah, blah. My ex and I had talked about getting a dog, moving in, etc. after college, and we're both very committed. I didn't see this coming at all, and it was very blindsiding. Seems like it mostly stemmed from some common relationship problems, compounding with my ex's mental health. Otherwise, we both were on the same page with everything, so it has been very devastating to me.
No, you're not on the same page. None of this goes together. At no point in your story was I like, oh, I got a grip on this. You don't belong together. You're at different places in your life. He's got issues he needs to deal with. He broke up with you. You know, there's something to be said for the things you argue about when you're younger are not the things you argue about when you're older. But this need to like pick right back up immediately. Like he told you how he felt. He broke up. This is girls do this where it's like, and I'll be waiting right there because I only have one shot at love. Get out in the world a little bit, or at least give it a beat. Because you both need to figure out, especially him, like where you fit in this world. Move on.
I wonder how much of the help from this podcast comes from just hearing your question back to you.
And how insane you sound.
Oh, like you're saying, like, you think that it's different, but read the words that you wrote. They're all pointing to things just not working for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you hear it written back. I think it's like how you suggest writing letters to people, you know, just getting it out and then seeing it and kind of reading it from that third party perspective. Listen back to the question.
Listen to how
it back.
Bonkers it sounds. Like,
does it seem like a healthy, right?
Yeah.
When are you supposed to touch back? Is this like my best friend's wedding and at 27, you're supposed to be like, well, we're still single. I guess we'll be together.
No, this is crazy.
Let him reach out.
This is why, I mean, also like, I'm like scolding this person. Like, have you not benefited at all and you know what? I don't appreciate you being like, I know you're just going to say like, let it alone. Yeah, that's the advice. I don't know that I've ever been like, stick with it. He loves you. You guys are in different places. You were in college, which is a microcosm. It's a bubble. You're out in the world. Don't wait for this guy. It's going to be, there's nothing to fight for. You don't want to be like 22 with like a boyfriend that's like dealing with something. And by the way, I know what you're doing. You're like, let's get a dog. That way we're bonded. Do not do that. All you're going to end up with is a pit mix that you see every couple weeks and then never again. So, I mean, I have a friend who got divorced and they shared custody of the dog for a little bit. And then one day she was like, I just don't see the dog anymore. Now I have a husband and a baby. Like, move on. You can find something else to do. Pick up a hobby. Get on a nap.
Yeah, I think the truth of it
I think
is
we've
that
covered it. We've covered it.
You want? I just think with these questions, people write in and they have not liked the answers they've gotten from the people that know them. So now they're writing into strangers on a podcast.
I'm not a stranger.
Trying to present it in the best light, and it's still not coming across.
We saw
right.
through it. We saw through it because
Yeah.
we do a lot of this, and I've been your age. Nothing make it work. No. Moving on. You also said the word roommates at some point. You're too young. Move on. That's it. Sorry, I agree with everyone in your life. You can't just look for the answer that you want and then agree with it. If enough people are telling you, then that's what it is. Only one person said it, then who cares? Okay. Kick it real hard in the can. Kick it in the can.
Oh.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I know being thankful is on everyone's minds, and with thankfulness comes gratitude, a concept that honestly really bothers me. I'm tired of thanking everyone else. You know who deserves a thank you? Me. You deserve a thank you. When's the last time you thanked yourself? Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are doing the absolute best we can. So here I am reminding you to send some thanks to the people in your life, but mostly send some thanks to yourself. And a great way to do that is with therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. You don't have to travel anywhere. They take the hassle out of finding that perfect therapist. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Eliza today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Eliza. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Eliza50 and use code Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Eliza50 at factormeals.com/Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling. And nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Eliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Eliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Hi, Eliza and Emily. I would like to ask for advice. My name is Madeline. I'm a 31-year-old woman working in a nice company where I love my job and team, but I could do with a pay raise since I got into the company because I wanted to work there, but did not bargain well enough my entry salary. I'm now pregnant, very early in the pregnancy, and I can't change jobs because no one would hire me, but I'm scared of asking for a pay raise at the same time I announce my pregnancy. I live in a country where maternity leave is from 6 to 12 months, and economically, the company would not benefit from giving me a pay raise and then having me off for such a long time.
Fuck 'em.
What can I do? Thanks. Hugs and kisses for the bundle of joy, the hot hubby, the snow peach, Emily, and you.
You sound Canadian, just based on the maternity thing, but I could be wrong because you didn't say Canada. They usually just come right out and say it. Look,
Spain.
first, I want everyone listening to hear Madeline. Is that her name? I
Mhm.
think she's French Canadian, but okay. Did the thing that most women do. You went in, you didn't think to negotiate because you don't know your worth. Now, look, you could be a mediocre worker, but we hear this a lot. Women that are like, and I didn't want to ask for it. You know who asks for shit? Like successful people and men. They come in, they're like, here's how girthy I am. Give me that sweet, sweet money. And you didn't because you think there's some reward in being like a pious worker. There isn't. And I don't know what kind of company you work for, but I also don't know the policy in terms of like, do you have to reveal that you're pregnant? I don't think you do legally. So remember this, it's nobody's fucking business. And if you've been a good worker and you plan on being there and you get that raise, and especially if it's early in the pregnancy, like maybe you didn't know, like whatever, that's not your issue. I have a friend who is Canadian and she was basically like, I'm going to have a kid and I get like 12 months off and then I'm going to have another one. And like basically like this company, which is a mega corporation, is just going to pay for me for like 3 years. But she's also very high up there and had spent a long time there. So I don't know what your job is there or anything, but you made a mistake by not asking for more. You should definitely ask for a raise and they will assess if it's worth it or not. But this thing where you're like, I won't ask and they'll just recognize my hard work is insane. There are plenty of memes about it. It's a clown move. I always ask for more money. Sometimes I get it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a gig that they offered and I was like, the guarantee, like the money that I was going to walk out with just wasn't enough. And I was like, give me something else. Let me keep more of my merch. Let me and they're like, it's not done. I'm like, ask them. And I did. And I got to keep 90% of my soft sales for my t-shirts because I didn't like the numbers for the gig. You're not powerless. And if you were bad at your job, they'd fire you or not. In America, we have to keep people because we're afraid of being sued. But don't worry about a company unless it's like a mom and pop candle shop.
No, I imagine that maybe you have to tell them about the pregnancy to then take advantage of the 6 to 12 months maternity leave, but ask for the raise first.
Yes.
Wait, see what they say, then go, oh, I just found out I'm pregnant. Crazy. Thanks for the
There you
raise.
go.
Also, I'll take my 6 to 12 months now.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't owe them anything. This like fealty to a corporation who doesn't care if you die. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And as long as you're a good worker, like you're going to do the work, you can, anyways. Women have to learn to speak up. Nobody's going to give you anything. This idea that like, well, I care or I'm a woman or, I am a hard worker. It doesn't matter. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. You don't have to be that squeaky. You just have to be like, hey, I'm a wheel too. Give me some grease. That's maybe the best metaphor anyone's ever had. When you kick it. In the wrong.
Eliza, husky, donut nose, and baby arm. I'm writing for advice on a difficult colleague. This girl is rude and kind of a bully. I need some witty comebacks. She is very hot and cold and seems to never be happy for me and my achievements. Last year, I moved out of my home into my own contained unit within a larger house, which she called a crack den. I've started my degree in nursing, as all your other listeners have, to which she responded with, ew, you don't see what they have to do upstairs. That is what you want to do.
What does that even
She constantly
mean?
asks,
Does she want? She's like, I want to do the abortions. Those happen upstairs.
are doctors upstairs and nurses downstairs like Downton Abbey?
Yeah, it's just like I have no idea what she's talking about.
She constantly asks if I hate it yet as well. The latest thing she's done to rain on my parade is as follows. My partner and I have decided to take the next step and move in together a bit too soon, according to her, whose current boyfriend was her roommate for a grand total of 2 weeks before they slept together. My girlfriend and I have found a lovely little townhouse in a nice suburb near the city, but according to her, it's a crack suburb. From a crack den to a crack suburb. How do I drown out her negativity and not let it affect me like this? I love my job and the rest of my crew, but she's horrible and intimidating. The roster works really well with my study commitments, so moving isn't really an option. Any and all advice welcome on dealing with this monster. Thanks for keeping me sane. Can't wait until international travel is a thing again. I see you in Brisbane.
I mean, first of all, this person sounds crazy. Like the words that like they sound, if you can just compartmentalize this person as they have no power over you because they're unintelligent and bananas. Like even the words, like she's just coming off as like someone ranting in the background, like, hey, it's got cracked in. Don't go there, it's a cracked in. I'm unhappy. I'll live with my boyfriend. I never even sleep with him. Like this is a nut. Like if a 10-year-old came in and was criticizing your life, would you listen to them? No. So all you can do is just be like, okay, thanks, Susan. Like you've got.
Yeah, and wait,
Go ahead. What?
this is your colleague. So she also a nurse, and she's like, "Oh, this sucks. What about the people? Your job's
No,
dumb.
she's
What
not
about
a
what the
nurse.
people do upstairs."
I don't know what that fucking means. And I don't know if it's like some weird coded sexual Australian thing. But also, like, it's not that she's not a nurse. I think she's asking, like, do you hate it? Like, do you hate nursing school yet? This person is clearly deeply unhappy. And once you recognize that they're unhappy and they're just trying to drag you down, you can either avoid them. You can also just look at her and be like, do you ever say anything positive? There's nothing to be
Yeah.
intimidated by. She's not going to hit you. She's just trying to, misery loves company. And so if you feel like fighting that battle, you can be like, you got a smile for me today, sugar? Or do you say anything nice? Or like, I don't know. I love it. Don't know why are you a hater? Oh my God. I hate when people say that. Like, why are you being a hater? I'm like, I'm not. I'm a comic. You got to categorize her like an infant nut and just think of her that way. And once you start to look at her through that lens, it will bother you less. But you are letting this person's opinion of your life affect you way too much because it doesn't even sound like a friend. It just sounds like a gnat buzzing around your head.
Yeah, you see her at work every day, and she's like, "What about your awful life?" It's like, oh my God, get out
You
of
could just
here.
look at her and be like, you got a secret for me? You got a secret to life? You're doing so well. We're in the same job. You know, the crack part of town. Ever hear of gentrification? Oh, female comic says gentrification. Cancel her. Don't give it that much power. This is a woman question. Men don't write in with this. Just, you're Australian, you're tough. Just be like, I don't know what to tell you. Be like, well, it's done. Like, if you can just give it less and less oxygen.
Yeah.
You know, the other version is like, no, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you the other version. Kick it.
No, but I would love if like guys started writing in like, my coworker Paul is so mean to
You
me.
never
He
hear
said
that. You got to toughen up and quit. Who cares? Plenty of people have plenty of bad things to say about plenty of people's choices, but they're your choices and it's your life. You've got this happy relationship with your girlfriend. You're the one living in a refurbished crack den and you're going to become a nurse downstairs. Life's going to be great. And you know who's going to make a lot of money is you when you buy that piece of shit containment unit in a radioactive crack den, and then someone comes in and puts in a blue bottle coffee, and all of a sudden it's nice and gentrified. You're gonna sell it for a chunk of change. And you know who's gonna be left in the dark is bad dude Susan at work with the weird boyfriend. Becky with the good hair. Kick it up, kick it downstairs.
Dear Eliza and Cutie Crew, I got engaged last year and I'm having my bridal shower this weekend. I'm so excited to finally be getting together with vaccinated loved ones outside and celebrate before our wedding.
So you think?
Here's my dilemma.
Well, yeah.
My
Can I guess?
yeah.
My weird fucking cousin with the antenna is an anti-vaxxer, but my mom says she has to go. How do I politely tell her I'm not a bitch? I'm just trying not to die. Sincerely,
Shockingly.
Connie.
No vax in this one, shockingly. But my BFF, who introduced my partner and I, texted me 12 hours before the bridal shower saying she couldn't come because her mental health wasn't in a good spot.
What is with people?
WTF, I was so mad. I sent a vague text saying that I was disappointed and that I would let my mom know since she had seating arrangements for everyone. What would you do? I'm so butthurt about this and don't see how I can move forward. I would never miss one of my friend's big days, no matter how crummy I felt. I struggle with depression and anxiety like much of the population. Thanks for your hot, juicy take on this meaty issue. Also, for context, I am a cisgender, almost 30-year-old female in grad school for nutrition science.
Uh-oh. Don't talk to me about my Christmas cookies. Look, I don't struggle with depression, so I don't want to be flippant about it. It is a very real thing. Do I think that a lot of people struggle with this and this is an issue, particularly in America? Yes. Do I think there are a lot of people that use mental health as an excuse when they don't have a problem in the way that other people do? Like when you, and I'm not even saying this is your friend, but like, people love to blanket mental health. Like, oh, my mental health. It's like, for the most part, most people are fine. And it kind of takes away from the severity of it. Like when people throw around PTSD, you know, and it's not up to me to say, oh, that was traumatic, that wasn't. But shame on the people that use it when it's like, I'm sorry your coworker was a bitch or like someone wasn't nice. Like that's part of life. You ever talk to a soldier with PTSD or someone that's been like sexually assaulted? Like that is very real. And so while I'm not taking away, and I'm going to get a lot of hate mail from the severity of it, I think people are very quick to want to try to garner sympathy because they don't want to fucking sack up. Okay. So that's me and my like Korean War vet granddad, like conservative way of looking at it. I'm just thinking of the time that like I knew I was like trying to get pregnant. I'd only have like a couple more nights out and I planned like a big night out. And one of my friends who's probably listening to this podcast texted me, and it wasn't about mental health. She was like, hey, she was coming in from like an hour away. She was like, I think I'd be better. I'd benefit better from staying in. I'm just not in a good place. And I feel I'd bring down the vibe. And I was like, get in the fucking car. I made the reservation. I booked everything. I already told them get in the car. Your granddad fought in World War II at 10. You can drive an hour from the desert and come get drunk with me. And she was like, you're right. I think we all have like a lot of social anxiety too because of COVID. And if I'm being 100% honest, I was laying in bed last night like dreading that a friend was coming over the next day. Because I was just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to take a phone call. I get that. I really do. Like this podcast, I was like, that's at 10. Then I've got to call at 2. Part of that is because like, I'm just like, I just need to wind down and I keep having things to do. But that's life. Okay. You call your friend and you say, hey, you be kind first because you don't know. But if it's your best friend, you know what she's been through. Has she ever used this excuse before? Has something happened to her? Now you're all going to be like, you don't need something to happen to have bad mental health. You do. You got to be an adult. Emily, you're like dying to say something. I just want to finish it by saying this. You call her and kindly and from the highest of light be like, hey, can we talk about this? Because if there is something awful, you don't want to have like gone hard and been like, what the fuck is your problem, Rachel? But sometimes talking it out makes you realize that like the demon is not so great. Because it is a selfish thing to do if it really is just like, I don't know, I'm feeling weird. Nobody wants to go to a party.
Right. That's the thing, especially because COVID has made it so easy to not go to things that we're all kind of out of practice of doing, social obligations we don't really want to do. But there are some things you just have to do to maintain friendships. And the fact this person must have something, they better have something awful going on to not be able to be like, look, I'm going to get it together for the, 6 max hours
also,
that this is going to take?
This is your best friend and she didn't call you and she didn't even give context in the text. That's bullshit. So you're either not telling us something or you're not that close or something's weird, but you owe it to your friendship to like get to the bottom and be like, hey buddy, like what's going on? And suss out if this is real or not. But it's kind of a bitch move on her part. None of us want to go to a wedding. Let's be honest.
Unless she's like both my parents just jumped off a cliff last night. Like,
yeah, if it's just one, I don't want to hear it. But like, how is this not? Of course, I want people to listen to the podcast, but like, pick up the phone and call her. You know,
she should have called. I would take it so much better if my friend called me and said, I am so sorry. I know how important this is to you.
Yes.
I am so unwell or this or that. I cannot go. I want to hear all about it when it's done.
Yeah.
Like that
By the way,
be okay.
What do I always say? Weddings bring out the worst in people. And like I have my baby shower coming up. The majority of men invited, because it is co-ed, because I'm just not doing like the schmaltzy girl only like eat poop and pretend it's a fun game thing. did not get me a gift. And like week of, they're like, oh, there's nothing on your, I didn't even know to get you a gift. And there are people who are like, I'm like, are you coming in my shower? They're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, can you open the fucking Evite? When is it? Like so many people. And on the other hand, one of my friends just texted me. She was like, hey, with the new variant, I just want you to know I'm going to a wedding and I wanted to give you a heads up. Do you think I should skip your party because I have to go to this wedding before? And I was like, thank you so much for saying that. Like, thanks for being communicative versus like, I forgot. Thanks for the catering. People are raised by wolves. There's no etiquette left in this world. Everyone's selfish and everyone's, oh, my mental health. You're fine. They're fine. All I'm saying is it takes away from people that actually have mental health issues.
Yeah. Again,
like
her mental health is less of a problem than her not communicating in a way that honors the lifelong best friendship that you have.
Okay. Honestly, there's something about your answers today, Emily, that are very like anodyne and like just, they're not fun. You're just like, just to reiterate, the point, and I'm just like, the
not-
next answer we give, you got to give something creative and fun.
Okay.
Okay. You can't just robot your way through it.
When does Smokey Husky's new cookbook come out? I keep thinking about that oatmeal you were eating when using photo shoots. I'm ready for tasty time oatmeal times. Thanks. Love you all.
Ooh, me
Do you
too.
know the answer? Or can you share it?
I thought it was going to be fall of this coming year, but I think because of COVID delays, literally like physical book production COVID delays, I think it's January of 2023. So you'll be able to pre-order it in the winter of this coming year. But yeah, we got a beat, but it is happening.
Mhm.
It is in the works. And my book, All Things Aside, will be out this coming fall. So
Are
sack
we
up,
allowed to share that?
save up. I just said fall.
Okay.
I didn't say anything else.
All right. So keep an eye out.
You can always go back and pull this episode.
I don't want to.
Okay. Take it easy. Kick it.
Hi, Pod fam. We were scrolling through Netflix and Hulu last night and noticed there are a lot of Lifetime-esque Christmas movies out. And we thought of a hilarious new segment for Emily and Eliza to do. It's
Oh,
called
I love it.
Is it a Lifetime movie or a porn? You have to guess which one when you're given the title. Here's the Christmas edition. So you ready? I'm going to give you these, okay?
Okay.
Holiday in Handcuffs. Lifetime or porn?
I think it's Lifetime. I think it's about someone that has to celebrate Christmas from jail.
They're not in jail. I can picture the thing. It's Melissa Joan Hart and who's that guy? Mario Lopez. And she's like dragging him on handcuffs, but I don't know exactly what it's about.
And I bet she's like a private eye. It's like that Reese Witherspoon, Sofia Vergara movie.
Oh,
I bet it's like,
Hot
and he like,
Pursuit.
yeah, and he just keeps trying. Yeah, I like how you had to pretend to think about it when you totally knew it because you have the poster. And I bet he like keeps trying to like tell you about movies on the movie channel. That's what his,
Okay, Naughty and Nice.
that's got to be a Lifetime movie. It's too tame for a porn.
Yeah, that would be a pretty boring one. I don't know who's in. Oh, Haley Duff is in that one. Okay, but again, I don't know what it's about. All right.
It's about, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about a seafaring rope maker.
Wait, okay, wait.
It's a Knots joke. Okay.
A cynical radio host is banished to Colorado where he has an on-air spat with a hopeless romantic. Isn't that what Sleepless in Seattle is about? I've never seen that movie.
Isn't that what Straight Talk is about? Like, isn't that always like, and then something happens online and it blows up and people, you're fired. And then the station manager's like, wait, our switchboard's lighting up. Hey, you, throw on those headphones. Me? But I've never radioed before. Give them that advice. It's the crux of every pilot. Like a girl has a breakdown and it goes viral. It's always a woman having a breakdown, by the way. I've written my fair share of them.
Did you see in the new Sex and the City show, one of the components is that Carrie is a regular guest on a podcast? Like that's a component of the show. It's not even her podcast. She's just a regular guest on someone else's.
I mean, I guess technically I own this and you're a regular guest.
Yeah, but we're not making Sex and the City about me.
They were like, it's like, they're like, we got to make this modern because the women are getting older. What makes it young? She can't be a writer. And if she was that writer now, it'd be like, Carrie has 6 roommates and lives in a crack house.
She can't get anyone to sign up for a subscription to the LA Times.
Part of me wants to just have a Sex and the City podcast where I just talk about old episodes because I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say about Carrie Bradshaw and her relationship with those other women, which is totally fabricated. There's no way they'd be friends in real life, and there's no way Charlotte and Samantha would ever talk to each other. And Carrie Bradshaw was a bitch.
Here's the thing: I'm team Kim Cattrall. In that,
but you're talking about real people. You're talking about real people. I'm talking about characters.
In the show, I'm team Charlotte, who's just trying to, and Miranda, who should go hang out without these other women.
I'm just team Miranda. I think she's the best.
Yeah.
And all right. Anyways, we can do that another day.
A Christmas Switch.
That's definitely Lifetime. This is a terrible game.
These are okay. There are Angels in the Snow, A Christmas Solo, and Love Hard. What? They're all...
give me one like stepfather fucks stepmother, like stepfather like has sex with daughter. Like that's a Lifetime movie.
This is just Allie and Jane who wrote in this questionnaire saying this is just an example. I'll never look at Lifetime movie titles the same.
No,
these are just all Lifetime movie titles.
You're supposed to provide me with both. You can't be like JK, they're all Lifetime. You have to be like sinful sisters, like fucking mother and daughter. Like this is what porn is in America, folks. There's this one comic who just had this, I don't remember the joke, but she just kind of brings up like, who's searching for, like, people must be searching for incest porn because like the internet is replete with it. I've never once, like, have you ever like had sex and accidentally like one of your parents pops in your head? You're like, ugh. Like, I am not into that. Like, I could be into some weird stuff, but I'm not into that. And none of these titles involve incest, so none of them are about porn.
It's always so interesting when every once in a while a map will come out and it'll show what the most searched like type of porn is in each state. And so like in the South, it's always like BBW, you know, because all the racists in the South are like, ooh.
BBW gets fucked by horny stepson.
Yeah.
Like, that's a Lifetime movie.
Lifetime
People
might have to
listening-
go in that direction.
I feel bad for that one person who listens at the post office at work. They're like, can you tone down the cursing? I'm like, sure. Horny stepmom gets fucked from behind. Double Team by Neighbors. Lifetime movie of the week. Starring Charisma Carpenter.
Hey, she was in one called, it wasn't Lifetime, but it was that style called Deadly Sibling Rivalry, where she's twins and one's evil.
And one's fucking the other one.
No.
This is not my porn search. All right. I don't want to say anything else because then I'll start saying like words from my own porn search and it'll start to get weird.
It'll get too specific.
Home Depot break room dreams realized. I don't know.
I never feel more at sea and alone than when I go into a Home Depot and I'm just wandering.
Oh, really?
Like, does anyone work here? No one works there. Or they're like helping someone else and they're never free. And I just am like, please.
No, you're wrong. They're so helpful and they're all there. And like whatever you need, it's amazing how like I'm like, I need a light bulb. They're like aisle 35, section B, right down there. They always know.
They have a
very helpful.
good website that will literally tell you this aisle, this section, drawer 3.
Yeah, because they don't want you bothering them with your pedestrian girl questions. Like we're talking hard lumber, real construction. Went there and I got some paint recently. And the dude had really light eyes and he was not unhot. Okay.
The paint guys are hot. I mean, what they can do. I brought some samples of paint from your house, like literally a chunk that had come off the wall, and they can like analyze it and mix a matching paint. That's crazy.
I mean, it's a machine. It's not like they like are scientists, but I will say the hot dude with the light eyes, he goes, my mom was like, do you have a paint mixer? And he just held up his bicep. He was like, I got this. And I was like, great. That would work on so many women.
There you go. That's your porn.
Yeah.
So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Eliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
Hi, Eliza and gang. I am coming to you with a Christmas and family-related question. My boyfriend of 2 years and I recently moved to Amsterdam together and are flying home to Switzerland for the holidays.
Oh, I love Amsterdam. I love Amsterdam. And you know what? Switzerland, it seems like a great place to live if you're a billionaire. It's so expensive.
Oh.
I cannot get a McDonald's meal is $15, and that's probably the most flavorful food in the country. I'm sorry. I have to just say this, and I made fun. I just have to say this. And I said this to the Swiss on stage, so it's not like I'm like saying it after. I was like, you guys are the whitest country. Like, even your immigrants are white. Like, the food, it's like melted cheese, chocolate. The food is not great. I'm just saying that. And they agree. And Noah was like, you'd think one immigrant would have brought like a pepper or something. Nothing. When you have that much money, you're like, we're okay with making our own food and nothing else. You guys got to get like an Italian restaurant or something.
Wait, I have a question
But
for
it is
you
beautiful. Okay,
as
what?
an eater of other cuisines. I went to a quote unquote authentic Szechuan Chinese restaurant the other night that was highly recommended. And like
Yeah.
every other Yelp review was like, if you want the numbing properties of
Yeah.
real, I was like, what? And everybody's like, numbing. I love
That's
to
their thing.
numb. At that, I was like, what is that? That's what you want? You're going there.
First
so
of
you're-
all, no one's saying, I love to numb.
that was the
Ew.
vibe. Of,
Is that a porn movie? I love to num nums. Maybe num num comes from that. Szechuan cuisine is spicy. And they're like some of their peppers have numbing properties, so your mouth gets numb and you kind of get into like an eating frenzy. I feel that way when I eat really spicy Thai, and it makes you eat more and you definitely like drink more alcohol. I'm down with like a hot spicy numbing thing, but that is typical Szechuan of the region. A lot of peppers. Tasty num nums.
I just was shocked that every other Yelp review brought that up. But I was like, is this code? Is something
That
happening
region.
here?
No, it's
Okay.
not sexual. But you may not want to have sex right after you eat it.
Okay, so where you have the boyfriend 2 years, I recently moved to Amsterdam, flying home to Switzerland on Christmas Eve. My mother and I are invited to celebrate with his family, which is always wonderful. My family usually gets together on the 25th. For the first time this year, my cousin is hosting at his holiday house, a traditional farm-style place in the countryside, and we are all sleeping
awesome.
over. When
I love it.
Sounds nice. When I asked my cousin whether it would be okay to bring my boyfriend, he wasn't too sure about it, saying that even though there would be just enough beds, it might be a bit too crowded for the meals. For context, I am 25 and quite a bit younger than my cousins. They're in a totally different phase of life, married and have children, etc.
They think your relationship is bullshit. That's what it is.
So I understand that my boyfriend and I maybe don't quite fit into the dynamic. However, when they were my age, it was always a given that they brought their current partners to every family gathering, even if they rotated quite a bit. I don't quite know how to feel about this. On the one hand, I totally understand that I need to respect his wishes as a host, especially since we are all sleeping there. On the other hand, his attitude makes me feel unwelcome. It's not about not being able to spend Christmas without my boyfriend. It's that he's an important part of my life and I would like to share with my family. Since we've lived abroad
it's the
and we
same
started dating shortly before COVID, there aren't many
Okay.
of these opportunities, and we're flying
Hold
back
on.
just
Stop. It's not abroad. It's another white country, literally an hour away.
we're flying back just to be with family. I'd love some input. Is this something I just have to suck up, or do you think there's a nice way to maybe say something to my cousin? Thank you so much. I loved your show in Amsterdam.
I don't understand. Am I okay? Hold on. Flying in Christmas Day is the 25th.
So it sounds like they fly in beforehand.
on the 24th.
They spend the 24th with his family, and then usually the 25th would be with her family. And at his family's house, her and her mother are both invited. Now at her house, the cousin is like, your boyfriend
I know,
won't have
but-
room at the food table.
Hold on. I'm trying to understand. They spend the evening because I always get like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day confused.
Yes.
I forget that it's two different things. Christmas Day should be the eve, the day of the eve. And then the next day, it's the eve of the day. Christmas Eve. All right, hear me on this. Christmas Eve should be the evening of the 25th. The day and the eve.
It's like
it should be
New
one
Year's
thing.
Eve.
Eve of.
Well, the 24th,
Change it.
her and her mother are going to be with the boyfriend's family. The 25th, the boyfriend is
day.
now not allowed to come to the family farmhouse because there's enough beds, but not enough room at the food table.
Here's what it is.
Such a lie.
It is look, I get it when you're the host and if you're cooking for like there's two sides to this and I'm actually not sure which side I'm on because I've definitely more often than not been the host side and there's always someone that's like, can I bring my boyfriend, my girlfriend? And it is hard to factor in this extemporaneous person who perhaps you have not met. I don't know how long you guys have been dating and it's
right
not fair to
pre-COVID. So was that 2019?
they've been dating since pre-COVID?
They said like right before COVID, so there haven't
So
been that
that's-
many like family meeting opportunities. So it's not an insignificant amount of time.
No, it's not. It's just kind of like, okay, like a male friend of mine, I invited in my shower and someone's like, oh, you bringing your girlfriend? I was like, you're not because you didn't have a +1. It's also how like men don't read invites. I'm like, I didn't ask for this. It's like, whatever. And then I was like, you can bring her. The truth is they should just let him come, especially because you've been together. I think you pick up the phone and you call and you be like, hey, what's like, we can't pull up a chair. Like make him really explain it. There might be other factors like we're already inviting whatever. Is it possible to just have the meal and then you leave? Like there's something
They're
I think
saying
he
the
just
meal is the problem for me is that she's saying, and if this question asker is to be believed, that the cousins brought a rotating
Yes, I
cast
get that.
of boyfriends and girlfriends.
Yeah,
but now
I think
they're
you
all
point that out.
married.
I think you point that. I think it's when people are married, here's the truth. It's hard to really respect someone's like, oh, it's just a boyfriend, it's just a girlfriend. Because they're not engaged, you know, but you've been together a while. And it is, you're like, it's not about bringing him, it's not about Christmas, but it is. You want your person there. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world if you just go with your family. I think it's more about the fact that you're like, hey, you always got to do this. Why is my relationship any different? You might want to point out you always got to do this, and that's not even the person you married. But I think it's worth a discussion. Be like, I'd really like to bring him. We will have just had Christmas with his family. You know, the other version is, okay, so you spend a couple hours without the other person. Seems like you live in the same city. But it's really about what point are you trying to make? Because I'm always like lamed out when like a 22 is like, I need to be with my boyfriend. It's like, just be with your family. They'll all be dead one day. So I really could go either way on this. But I think you need to be expressed, which is not something your people are great at. And your government doesn't encourage it. I'm not qualifying Amsterdam's as I just like that Northern European, just sort of, oh, we're all okay with what we have. You
But
go American on this
also-
one. You say, I must be heard.
The fact that this girl is quite a bit younger than her cousins, it sounds like. So everyone else is married with kids, coupled off, and then she's just also going to be there.
Say that. You're like, I want to see everyone. I want him to meet my family. You guys haven't had a chance to meet him. His family's welcoming us. I'd love to bring him.
Yeah.
The food thing is always the last excuse. I'm sorry. Like there's always enough food. I was so insulted when I had that relative that wanted to bring their fiance / non-fiance. And he starts with, I mean, he was joking, but it's also so insulting. Like, she won't eat much. I'm like, that is so tacky that you would even think I would like monitor someone's food consumption.
No, and it's such a lie. I would understand more if they were like, we don't want you guys sharing a bed. We're old fashioned. I would understand.
That's
that
what I
more than,
thought
like,
it was.
There's not room at the table for him is insane. Make some kids go
insane.
sit on the floor.
Fucking kids can eat outside with the animals. No, that's insane. I also thought it was that. Like, look, we're uncomfortable, whatever, but you're not 19. Sorry. You got to be heard on this because I bet once you point it out, your cousin will be like, you know what? You're right. Just bring him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. I have a 19-year-old, 7-year-old, and 6-month-old. We have gone through hell with our 19-year-old since she was
happened?
15. I know that teens will be teens and they just suck, but I can't help thinking she's just a different breed. Since we started having problems with her, she goes above and beyond to fuck up and will take any punishment for it, then go right on to the next thing. It's like she knows she's going to get in trouble, so she goes hard. We've tried therapy, set clear boundaries, taken things away, basically put her on lockdown and turned our house into a prison, you name it. Thankfully, she graduated high school. Now that she's graduated, she thinks she's a free woman. She still lives at home and barely spends any time here. She lies to me about what she's doing and who she's with. She will tell me one thing to get herself out of the house, and then she's got a million other plans once she leaves. Again, teens, I get it. My problem is that when she's home, she knows what's expected of her as far as chores and being present. She consistently does chores the laziest way possible, so much so that I have to go behind her and do it all over again. I've corrected her for years, made her do it all over, etc. She just doesn't give a shit, and it's so disrespectful. She doesn't pay rent, she's not in school, and she's home maybe 5 days out of the month. I don't think I'm asking too much, but
Where's she going?
Dry
Where
dish.
is
She
she?
doesn't know. To dry dishes before putting them away or folding laundry instead of wadding it up. Now she's moved on to making promises to her 7-year-old sister that she never keeps. I've been watching my middle daughter cry because it breaks her heart. I'm pretty much over mothering her at this point, and I think she needs to be treated like a grown woman. If any other grown woman treated me or my family with the little regard that she treats us with, I would come unglued. Do I need to just kick her out?
Look, goes without saying, but of course, need to say it because people listening, because some people can be dumb. I'm not a mother. I'm not in that situation. It's so easy to be like, fuck that kid. I get that you're exhausted. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, look, when you're in school, that's your job. You get your good grades. Like, that's your job. She's out of school now, so she needs a job. So you got to put it to her like, you either need to pay rent or enroll in school, like whatever second sort of education she wants. And also in terms of like the chores, I cannot tell you that I ever listen to my mother. It is exhausting, especially as a teenager. Your mom, you're just like, leave me alone. I don't care. And it's only now as an adult on my own that I'm like, oh yeah, you do have to rinse out the sponge. You should rinse off the dish. Oh yeah, you should clean before the housekeeper. So I'm sure they'll soak in. What you don't want to do is harangue her so much that she like deliberately goes anti and won't absorb it. You know, she naturally will absorb these healthy habits. Also, she's younger, and she doesn't sound, say it, that bright. You want to make sure she's safe and healthy. All you can say is like, we love you. This is not working for us. So you can move out or you can stay here and get a job. But you're not doing her any favors by like keeping loose tabs and just driving yourself crazy.
Yeah, it sounds like the consequences you've been using have been lockdown and keeping her there. But I think you have to threaten to evict her and mean it. And she will need to stand on her own 2 feet or she won't. And you have to let her sink or swim. Yeah,
I think that tough love might be the toughest option. I mean, that being said, I have a relative whose child, part of it was during COVID, but like was totally useless. And they kept talking about like, we got to kick this kid out. We're going to do it. And they never did it. And then one day that kid just got a job and moved out and they're fine. So, yeah. But you know, she's using your house as like a base. She's hanging out with people. She knows she has that safety net. And that's why there's no respect, because you've never actually done anything to change the behavior.
Right. And I wonder, the thing about her just constantly making promises to the sister and breaking them to the 7-year-old, like, can you be very honest with the daughter about that, about the fact that she is breaking her sister's heart? Like, that is so sad to like also, leave her out of it.
That's bad. That's a bad role model. Like, this little girl seeing this kid like come and go and kind of be a piece of shit, be like, you're setting a bad example for your sister. And she loves you and you're consistently breaking her heart, and that I can't stand for. So you either have some accountability, get a job and pay rent, or you can move out on your own and do whatever you want. And we love you, and this is tough love, kid.
Yeah.
And give it a date. Be like, this is on the 13th, like it is over. Your stuff's coming out. We're turning your bedroom into mommy's Pilates / frozen yogurt studio. That's it. You're a parent, you know, you're not a warden and you're not required by the state to do anything past a certain age, and you're tapped out. You're a human. Do you have a husband that can crack some skulls, or is it just you?
Yeah.
I'm just saying sometimes if it's two parents, you know, but she's taking advantage because she's been taught that it's okay, because there's no real repercussions.
Especially because it sounds like, so she knows she's going to get in trouble, so she does the worst possible things knowing it'll be the same consequences. So you got to escalate those consequences.
You know what you do? When she comes home next time, you just be sitting there in the living room and be like, hello, Delia, have a seat. You know, make her sign a contract. Kids get very weirded out by that. And that's what I think. Kid sounds like an asshole.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Caitlin Slaughter wrote in, Eliza, we've heard your hot takes on the baby gear industry, overpriced and full of certain brands of status symbols, baby clothing with words and sayings. Everyone loves stereotypes assigned to a 3-month-old in a onesie, and the obnoxious people who love to say, just you wait. You mean wait for me to punch you for being the worst? But what's your take on the phrase, thank you for making me a mommy, that women seem to love to put on social media posts about their kids? I think it is beyond cringy and kind of gross. I can't put my thumb on the exact reason why, but it just seems gross. Your kid didn't make you a mommy, and you ain't Mary, so we all know it wasn't immaculate conception that made you a mommy either. I have 2 kids of my own, and I am endlessly amused by the various brands of mom out there. Can't wait to see you in Maryland in May.
I am not going to start off my journey into motherhood by saying, like, these moms do it wrong. I'm just saying, like, products and brainwashing that I don't subscribe to. Some women do want that more than anything, and they think about it a lot, and they worked really hard for it. So while it's not language I would use, just like I would never call my husband hubs, I would never say nom nom. The sentiment is very sweet, and that's I've been wanting to be a mother forever. Thank you. You know, it's just a way of saying like I'm so excited to be here. It's not the way I would express myself. That doesn't bother me. I should have made this my bottom of the cup, but I'm just going to read it anyway.
Okay.
I saw an ornament on Instagram that was so cringeworthy that I took a picture of it.
Oh,
It's
good.
a Christmas ornament, and it says, "Daddy, this Christmas." Oh God, even the word "daddy." I'm like,
I
there's
don't
too
like.
much sexualization. Yeah, "Daddy, colon, this Christmas I'll be snuggled up in mommy's belly." So "daddy" is in big red letters. "This Christmas I'll be snuggled up" is in black, and then "in mommy's belly" is in green. In black, but "next Christmas I'll be snuggled up" in green, "in your arms." And then in parentheses it says, "Mommy says it's the best. Love, the bump."
Is this the name of a porn? Just that whole thing? I
It's
hate
a
that.
trilogy. And then you can have it customized because that's what the world needs is like more garbage. Love, and then you put the baby, but it just says the bump. So I'm going to read it again so everyone can like fully cringe and then hopefully have an orgasm. "Daddy, this Christmas I'll be snuggled up in mommy's belly, but next Christmas I'll be snuggled up in your arms. Mommy says it's the best." Ugh. It's
That
so
that
I
falls
ordered- I
into the
ordered
same
5.
category. It falls into the same category as the like, "Thank you for making me a mommy," where I can't help but feel as a third party, non-parent, not interested in being a parent observer, some women on social media and men I see as it's less about their love for the child and more about this is my new online persona. Like this is the role I'm going to inhabit now is how I sometimes see it.
I don't know. I mean, we all express gratitude for various things, whether it's a collection or a private jet or a baby or your dog or your clothes, like whatever. So it's this idea you can't judge. It's like, oh, I can judge and I make a really nice living doing that. But, you know, these things are cringy, but these is also the same people that put up like live, laugh, love signs and like late girl signs. It's just not something I would do, but takes all types. So "thank you for making me a mommy" is just sort of a less intelligent way of expressing that you are very grateful, excited. You know, it's not the way I would say it. I'd probably say "thank you so much for this opportunity."
Like you're at a job interview.
It's whatever. But I will say, you know, this national pastime of just teeing off on any woman who loves being a mom is also a little unfair. Some women, this is what they all they've ever wanted, and that's okay too.
Is that ornament 6 feet long to fit all that text?
It's the size of my husband's dick. No,
We ju-
it's just like a really crowded ornament.
There are so many of
It's
those.
not an ornament. It's like a plate. What?
Those ads where it'll be like very, very specifically tailored to you based on your Instagram profile. And so it'll be like, "I'm a comedian who has blonde hair and a dog
yeah.
from China. And I love
You know-
wearing red shirt." And you're like, get away. Why would I wear
You know,
this?
my friend Shallon had a joke one time. I always want to give credit where it's due. Like, there are shirts that people make illegal. It'll be like, it's an Eliza Schlesinger thing you wouldn't understand. And obviously these are mass produced and you could say it's a Pisces thing you understand, whatever. But some of them, she had this thing about like how weirdly personal. It'll be like, "My husband fixes HVACs and he's the best one out there. Like, I'm a God-fearing, redneck, four-wheel driving, mud fishing Southerner. Proud of it." You're like, okay, cool. Did you want caramel drizzle on your Frappuccino or not? Like this need to identify yourself outwardly. I don't have that need.
Yeah.
And I think it's a sign of intelligence. Like, the less I need you to know about me outwardly, like I don't dress a certain way. I don't wear it on my sleeve.
Right.
Or my heart on my sleeve. But anyways, so yeah, it's fun to secretly judge, but you know, some people just watching my dog in the sheets of my bed, like just losing her mind under a
Going
cover.
down. Good for her.
I love it. Good for you. Keep going, baby. I'm that mom. You go crazy in that sheet. "Dear Daddy, snuggled up, love, the bump.
The bump. Ugh.
Also, I'll tell you what, when you outwardly, like when you wear words on your shirt that like describe who you are, like I have a shirt that I love that says apologize to the Dixie Chicks. Now, it doesn't say Dixie. I wish it did just because it really makes it clear. It just says apologize to the Chicks, which can mean anything.
They changed their name, yeah.
Sure, no, but it says apologize to the Chicks. And I brought it with me to Texas and I wore it on like a drive through Texas to like a farmer's market in like a small town. And it's like, you should be prepared for people to ask you about that. And it's like, if you want to be about it, like get ready to have that conversation. It's one thing to be like an edgelord, just like wearing like a risky shirt, like, oh, fuck the government. But like people are going to say something and you better like be ready to come correct with your views, which I was.
That's why I stopped wearing my shirt that says ask me about my butthole because someone asked and it upset me.
Yeah, we're all very edgy and cool and everything. I mean, that's a pretty banal thing. Like, thank you for making me a mommy. But like, everybody's puffed up when they're putting it on the shirt. But like, just remember, you've got to like explain yourself to strangers. Because it's lame. It's lame if you wear a shirt that has a stance on it and you're like, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, that's like the equivalent of being like, do your own research.
Right. Yeah. What are you doing? Top of the cob?
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Christmas is here. I'm just a tiny deer. Oh wait, I had something else to say about that. Can I? You know what? Maybe I do 2 tops of the cobs and the bottom of the cobs.
Go for it. That's your Christmas gift.
Okay, my Christmas gift is this. My top of the cob is a frozen persimmon.
I saw that and I was going to ask you questions about it. Like, why?
Noah, this is so bad. I should have asked him what chef. He's working with this chef on a cookbook, and I want to say it was hers. I could be wrong. Her name is Naisha, but it also may not be hers. So I could also text him right now. Anyways, it's this like delicacy. It's a frozen persimmon. First of all, it's got to be ripe. And we got a special one from the farmer's market from JJ's Lone Daughter Ranch, which is a farm here in California. And they have the best citrus and the best avocados. If you buy a regular persimmon, we bought some the other day and like they're still ripening. So that's garbage. But special persimmon, freeze it. And apparently, I think you can pour like brandy over it, which I didn't do. Apparently, club soda is good, but I just ate it like an apple. It's delicious. And you probably will only eat a persimmon like once in your life in a salad. I love it. And you can eat the whole thing. There's no like core. It's like a banana. Like I think there's like tiny seeds, but you can eat the whole thing.
How is biting into it when it's frozen?
It's like a little
when you freeze
mushy.
A grape?
A little bit. Like it's mushy. It's never, frozen persimmon. I felt really good about it. It was so tasty and satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted everyone to know, and I just wanted you to know that that's a great way to eat a persimmon. It was tasty for me.
Did you have a second top you wanted to do or no?
Oh, I got a lot of bottoms though.
Oh,
so why don't you do your top and then we'll get into it. I have the worst bottom.
My top is so lame, but my parents went to bed last night at 9 as they do. And then I went in my room and I got an email from Credit Karma that was like, check your credit score. It's gone up. And I was like, ooh, and I went and looked and it's the highest it's ever been. So then I went back to where my parents were sleeping and I was like, guess what my credit score is? And everyone was like, okay, we're asleep. And I was like, all right, bye.
What is it?
800.
Out of?
Is it 850 maybe?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I thought 800 was the cap, but I saw there was more on the little spinny thing. So I was like, well, I'm not at the top, but I was like, yeah.
You could use some extra credit to get it up a little bit higher before the semester. Okay, my bottom of the cob. I'll do a holiday one and I'll do my real bottom of the cob, which is really upsetting. My bottom of the cob is as a Jewish person, I'm not going to say Jew because then people who aren't Jewish will think it's okay to say Jew, which has a weird anti-Semitic ring to it.
It does.
It does. Because it's never like a proud Jew. It's like, she's a Jew. It's always a little accusatory.
It's too it ends too abrupt.
Yeah. Like, ew. I understand the commercialization of Hanukkah, which we only do because of Christmas. Like these 2 holidays, Hanukkah is a celebration of a military victory, as most Jewish holidays are. This idea that it somehow correlates with the exact time of like Christ's birth, like several thousand years later, is silly. So it's all there for commercial purposes, and I don't need to be wished a happy Hanukkah. I appreciate people doing it, but it really is more of a holiday on a commercial level and on a reform level for children because they they learn about why we light the candles and you spin the dreidel, whatever. As an adult, I'm not sitting here with my husband like spinning the dreidel for Hanukkah gelt. And so when people are like happy Hanukkah, like it's not like Kwanzaa where it's like this is a cultural roots thing and I need you to discern or Merry Christmas versus Happy Christmas. I'm okay if you say Happy Holidays. I'm also okay if you say Merry Christmas because it really is more your holiday and the marketing of Hanukkah stuff. Now maybe it's because I'm brainwashed, but like I don't need a Hanukkah banner. Like the blue and yellow, you should be able to put up lights because Hanukkah is the festival of lights. So it's weird that we don't do quote unquote Christmas lights. Like you should have white lights all over your house. And it's annoying that we don't get to do that. I just kind of cringe at the like Happy Hanukkah. People trying to be inclusive, but like I don't need it. I'm not that sensitive. And like I remember there was like Elf on a Shelf, which is like some product. It's an elf. And they're like, no, we've got Mensch on a bench. I'm like, the idea is to normalize these Jewish things, but no Christians are like, oh, Mensch on a bench versus Jews in our never-ending quest to fit in or like, oh, Elf on a Shelf, Christmas tree, whatever. Christianity is very good at being like, come use ours as the default. And like, I'm a product of that. I love Christmas, but there are things that I won't do that are just like a bridge too far. Anyways, I don't need it. I don't need you to say Happy Hanukkah. I'm not going to get offended if you don't. I think people are afraid of offending people too much. So it's weird. You don't want Christianity to be the default, but at the same time, I don't need you to like, I'm an adult. I don't need you to wish me Happy Hanukkah. It's over also. So whatever.
It is over.
Okay. So here's my real bottom. Did you already do your bottom?
No, you want me to do mine?
Do yours and then I'll do my horrible bottom.
Oh, no. My bottom is we have a dog who's 16 and blind and mostly deaf and, kind of wanders dementedly and like just stands and stares. And
is that one that you're always hitting on Instagram?
Gracie hates her because she doesn't know when to stop walking. So she'll just walk towards Gracie like she's the Terminator and just keep going and going. And so Gracie's like, arr, arr. And I'm like, oh no. And she's growling. And this poor demented dog is just like licking the air. And it's so sad and heartbreaking. I'm like, Gracie, no, she's not going to hurt you. It's okay. Please don't growl at her. She only has so many days left on this earth.
I mean, the good news is the dog doesn't know what's going on. So her feelings aren't being hurt.
No, but I know she smells the cat and she has had cats before and I know she wants to sit with the cat and it's sad that she can't.
Yeah. Gracie's kind of a pill.
She is.
She's a pill. Okay.
Okay.
Get ready to cringe. Okay. My bottom of the cob is this, and it's a term that I learned recently. A friend of mine was saying how his wife has to be induced for labor because she has like health concerns. And they have to and I have a friend that went through this and it was brutal. Basically, they have to put a balloon in your cervix to like open it up. So the baby has like a big enough birth canal. But apparently and I might get this wrong, the act of opening up the cervix that way is called ripening. I'm sorry. Like, why? Why does it have? Now, I don't know if ripening came along and then people like sexualize the idea of like fruit and a vagina and like, oh, she's right. Like, it's just cringy. It's up there with geriatric pregnancy. Like, why is this necessary? Also, don't steal this. It's in my book. But like, if I have a geriatric pregnancy, like, shouldn't my husband's ejaculation be called a geriatric ejaculation? Like, we're both the same age. Like, why is it always about the woman either being shamed or it's a sexualization?
Mm-hmm.
And like one of my friends was like, what if you have to have a C-section? You might want to go to like a waxer and get it cleaned up before. I was like, you think my pubic hair is like on my mind and how it looks? She's like, well, they'll have to shave you. I'm like, just all of it. So you do a big fucking deal. I'm so done with all of these creepo terms and the sexualization of every fucking thing I do. Ripening of this. Get out of here. Cherries, all that stuff. Every time I see a cherry, I'm like, I know you're talking about a hymen. I'm not putting cherries on my daughter. I'm not putting cherries on a tattoo. It's all just too sexual. Ripening of the cervix is a hard pass. You will use a different term around me.
What is it is it jack when you put a car thing under and lift the back of the car up?
Because you're moving your hand like you're jacking that D. Everything's gross. And I know just some gross creep out medicine was like, how about ripening? Yeah. Fucking the whole thing is gnarly.
I want to see a post
upset.
or an ornament that's like, thank you for ripening my cervix and making me a mommy.
Oh God, that's your porn movie of the week. So I guess this is the last episode before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to say happy holidays to everyone around the globe. For listening to Ask Eliza Anything, and we have had a great year. I mean, I know New Year's is the end of it, but I hope you guys, we all are owed and deserve like a nice holiday. To that one girl in Amsterdam, I hope you get to bring your hot blonde boyfriend, he's probably blonde, to the table. I hope there's enough food. I hope everybody has a really nice break. And in Europe, they're like, we've already been on our break. We take many breaks. We have a 3-day work week. But to everybody listening, we love you so much. We hope we helped you solve a lot of problems with your roommates and your weird girlfriends and your weddings. For a Christmas present, since you asked to me, please leave us a 5-star review. Give us 5 stars. And buy the products that we so lovingly tell you about, because we only sell you products that we think are good for you. We don't just push out a lot of garbage, and we try to be thoughtful and have integrity. And perhaps we will not be the biggest podcast in the world because of it. But just remember, I cared. Jingle dangle, jingle jangle. Emily says happy holidays too. No? Okay.
Oh, happy holidays.
All right.
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's high, the number 5, casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.